ran really well in the Testarossa with his 58 kilos, but the set weights penalties, nature of that race just didn't give him the ideal opportunity. He still ran well. TAMERLANE's going to give you a great sight. Just ran well in a Bill Ritchie. First, Radina wins an Epsom. 7th, Barbie's Fox runs 4th in the same Epsom. He's proven second up, and with these scratchings, he might be able to get control of the race on speed. I've promoted Just Folk after most of the field were dual acceptors. 6, 9, 5 and 1 now.
And Brad, TAMERLANE's on top for you.
Yeah, I think Gady hit the nail on the head with TAMERLANE. He just with these scratchings, he looks to just get control, and that's when he races best. I'm saying he needed that run first up, considering that on-pace runners, they generally need that bit of fitness, so he's got that now. I think, when he gets into a rhythm and rolling, he's awfully hard to catch, and I just think this sets up beautifully for him. 9, Umgawa, it's the rated horse here, just all the ratings stack up beautifully. Runs up to its last 4, it just has to be in the finish. Number 1, Just Folk for me, and number 12, Nicolini Vito, who's got some form here and can finish off. Just loomed and knocked up the other day, so we'll see how it goes today. But I thought TAMERLANE would be awfully hard to run down, should lead and prove hard to catch. 5, 9, 1, 12.
And of course, this last race at Flemington, part of the World Pool with Super Tab. World Pool operating on win and place bets, trifecta, quinella and duet bets, resulting obviously in much bigger pools. And the Paris Lane Stakes, and TAMERLANE's the favourite, 330 into 250, clearly best backed. Umgawa is 550, just out to $6. The Fortune Teller went up at 10, just nibbled into $9. The rest are at double figure odds. And Mink's Moment, Gator's value play, went up at 11 this morning. Late 16 into 13 is one that's been spec. Not an option's another. 16 this morning, $12 now. That's the tab read, and we're under 60 seconds away. TAMERLANE is the bookmaker's favourite. 270, 280 into 250 last 15 minutes. Umgawa 6 into 550. The Fortune Teller 950 out to 10 back into 9. Not an option. 11, 15 back into 12. And Mink's Moment 14, 16 back into 13. Your value play spec everywhere, Gator.
Yeah, look, I know he's good enough. He's certainly a listed level horse. I think I'm not sure I'd aim much higher, but I'm convinced he's up to the grade he's racing, which is really important. He's drawn for a good run just off what looks a moderate speed, and track's been playing really well as we expect. Flemington, so he should get his chance.
And Not an Option's been spec'd at double figure odds as well, and does boast a good record at the track and trip.
Yeah, loves Flemington, and this horse totally unsuited. First up in a slick 1100 metre race, running fast time, dominated from the front. That's not his go. 1400's much more his go. He's never won second up though. Is now a 6-year-old, but not out of it.
TAMERLANE best backed everywhere, as you're on top of here, Brad. It's had 2 Victorian runs in the past and placed one of those 2.
Yeah, he's just a horse that builds into the preparation. He's got better and better each campaign as well, and heard James Cummings speak about him during the week on radio and expect him to run a massive race here. The market really likes him, which is a massive, massive plus. And yeah, like I said, I just think he owns the race from the front here. And 1400, Flemington, generally pretty on pace, so he'll be very hard to run down.
Nibble everywhere. The Fortune Teller, Gator his second run back from a break. Wasn't disgraced in an Australian Guineas Group 1 second up last prep.
No, he wasn't. He ran quite well. I mean, a lot of them ran well in that race. Some have emerged and run well at Group 1 level, the likes of Amenable and Co, even Attrition. So I'm not sure the Bill Ritchie for him was any guide first up. It was more sort of, he didn't have much go right there at a price, so he can improve sharply here.
So the Paris Lane Stakes won last year by Visionary, beating Mr. Exclusive in the Garden. Just a Canter beat Just Folk and Mystery Shot the year before. In 2020, Riddle Me That beat Iconoclasm and Best of Days. Rich Itch won it in 2019, Eckstein in 2018, Pure Pride 17, Ullman in 16. Other winners include Faulkner in 2012. Wrapping up the big day, Tab Turnbull Stakes Day from Flemington. Here's Matt.
Malum in the saddle for Simon Ryan. So heavily supported TAMERLANE. You're getting $2.15 with the World Pool tote figures. The Fortune Teller comes along with also Von Hawk. There's the up-and-comer in the race as they move up. Nicolini Vito to sit further forward today. Umgawa, always a chance in a race like this, goes forward. As the curtain comes down on a magnificent Turnbull Stakes Day Gold Trip, absolutely thrilling us in the feature races. Just Folk is brought along. Damien Oliver aboard. First up here, Just Folk. 2 to get set. Here's TAMERLANE. with Damien Lane aboard. It's the shortest way home in quaddies of 1,484, and Highland Jack is the final one at 100 to 1. The Paris Lane Stakes. Highland Jack. Great to see T.O. Nugent in the saddle here. They are ready. Set to run. Or are they? Assistant starters on the walkie-talkie. So something's going on in there. And there's one being backed out. One being backed out. It's going to be Minsk Moment, I think you'll find. It's number 6, Minsk Moment. So jockey Craig Williams just standing up in the gates at this stage. Von Hawk drawn to its right and Just Folk to its left. And it's been backed out. This horse currently $15 on the tote, 16 to 11 with books. And they trot him around, so obviously undergoing a vet's examination. Agitated in the stalls, Minsk Moment. Started its career with a victory under lights at Moonee Valley. Winner of the dual choice at Geelong last year. Some news coming through. Abby, thank you. So Minsk Moment being vetted. And we'll just... Yeah, it's going to come out. It is going to come out, Minsk Moment. We can hear from the effects mics over at the 1400. So this horse will be coming out. We'll get that confirmed from Scales. But will be one less in a moment. And here is the official announcement. 5:43 Vets Advice. Minsk Moment is a late withdrawal. So you can put the pen through that. So we're down to 11 runners in the Paris Lane. The field is set. Ready to go. Closing race of the day and away. Mystery Shot away only fairly. The Fortune Teller jumped well. There's the favourite. Tamerlane is going to sweep across the face of the field and lead from Not an Option, and also Just Folk, the Fortune Teller. Behind them, Nicolini, Vito, Umgawa, Mystery Shot, and then came Stage Man Character, Von Hawk, and Highland Jack is last. Tamerlane is in front and looks to dictate from here. 1,000 metres to go at a neutral pace by 3/4 of a length to Just Folk, a length Not an Option. Then the Fortune Teller. Further back is Nicolini, Vito, a length and a quarter, Umgawa, Mystery Shot, and Stage Man a little wide. A length and a quarter, Von Hawk, and then came Character, and Highland Jack whipped them in. Approaching the turn at the 700 metres, it's Tamerlane in front by a neck to Just Folk, getting a little bit closer. Not an Option behind them third, then the Fortune Teller in the white jacket. Nicolini, Vito deeper, then Umgawa, Mystery Shot, Von Hawk, and Stage Man, and then came Character a long way back. It's Tamerlane in front by about a length, Just Folk, Not an Option getting into the clear. The Fortune Teller behind them from Umgawa, Nicolini, Vito, and Stage Man. Tamerlane up the 250 full bore, led from Just Folk, still peppering away. Then Not an Option, Umgawa, and the Fortune Teller. Tamerlane extends, 100 metres to go, a length and a quarter, Just Folk. Tamerlane controlled the race, and Tamerlane won the last from Just Folk, Umgawa. The Fortune Teller in a photo for fourth with Von Hawk, then Not an Option. Further back, Stage Man.
So Tamerlane, Brad's tip, home of the last at $2 across the totes as it beats Just Folk. Looks like Umgawa very prominent for third. May well be 5, 1 and 9. And 13 is prominent for fourth. We need the judges' help there. And that wraps up Flemington for another day. We've only got one out of line here at Kembla Grange. The Englishman best backed into favouritism.